What's up? If this your first time seeing my face, I'm Lucid, Triple LUCYD, and today we're going to be looking at a video with a young man. I think he's a young man. Seems to be a young man who says the older he gets, the more he starts to hate people. I seen this video only because, or I wanted to react to this video only because I be feeling like that. But if you seen the previous video, it's isolation is all I want. You know, just my own peace. And sometimes you might think that you hate everyone or you might want to be isolated, but it's only because you haven't found your group yet. Maybe that's it. Or maybe, you know, you got some internal things that make you feel like you want to be isolated. Who knows? But I want to see what he has to say and, you know, maybe give some of my feedback and my thoughts on the situation. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Care less to be around people. And I used to not always be like that. I was an extrovert. I used to love being around people. People were good. People had good energy, but the older I get, the more you realize how people think. I'm a big psychology person. That's what I went to school for. You learn how people think.
What the hell? Where is he at?
I'm a big psychology person.
That's what. My grandma just riding by herself. She a little too isolated. She need to get some help. She going at Mach 10 speed down the street. What the fuck going on?
What I went to school for. You learn how people think. You learn how the human brain work. And people are truly, today, they're toxic. They're negative. They love just drama. It's like people are fake. People are just weird. People perform. There is no real people left. Like all the real people, they don't come out the house. They keep to themselves. They don't hang around a lot of people. But most people are just fake, and they're faking because they have to fit in. They feel like they have to be a part of society. They have to, have some type of, play this role or have an image.
I say stuff like that first starts in school. Like you'll start seeing it, like, say if the bully is bullying you or something like that, and somebody just bullies you too, just because they're doing it and they not trying to get bullied by the bully or some shit, or they see everybody laughing so they want to get a laugh too, so they bully you or something. Not saying you're getting bullied, but you get what I'm saying. Or everybody got these certain shoes or something like that, where everybody rocking Jordans, and then you see somebody else go get a pair of Jordans because shit, that's what everybody are wearing. I think it just starts in school, just from socializing and seeing the social cues. People probably feel like when they was growing up as a kid, they had to perform, they had to be somebody different just to fit in with the other kids, just to be able to sit at the cool lunch table or something like that. And so maybe now it's trickling into their adult life, and so they perform, act a certain way still, even though there is no one to perform for. You don't have to perform anymore, unless you're performing for a job, a career, trying to be a musician. We know they're fake. You're trying to be an actress. We know they're fake. They're supposed to be fake. They're making up something. With music, you can make a song that's real, but when you get on stage, you're acting kind of different. But you get what I'm saying? Some people just carry that performance from school, from trying to fit in, up to their adult life. And so the people that's inside probably never performed before. Or not never, but don't mess with that.
And they don't realize the image. You are the image. You have to be you. You're your own unique individual person. But everyone just follow everyone else. In the way the world going now, it's not going the right way. A lot of people are mentally, spiritually not in a place where they should. They're They're operating from survival. A lot of people are depressed and sad and angry. People are vicious. People are just evil. We live in an evil world. I used to think that like people were good, people were kind, people were, you know, we're there to help each other. That does not happen. Or it was just fake. It was all a lie. I don't know.
I wouldn't say all that. Just everybody's evil. You just got to find the right people for you. Of course, somebody that's evil, if you find them, you're gonna know there's evil. You get somebody generous around you. That's why you know what happiness and sadness is, because there are people that are sad, or you've experienced sadness, and then when you experience happiness, you knew you didn't want to feel sad. That other feeling was something bad. So everybody's not evil. I will definitely say that. There are generous, good people. Not everyone's fake. I mean, you just have to find your people.
But it seems like the older I get, the more I even just observe people. I don't even have to be around them. You could just see people being fake. You could see it. And then it's like, damn, there's times when I get lonely, right? I get lonely and I be feeling like, damn, let me get out the house and actually be a normal person. Let me, I get my son, I go on my walks, I go on my bike rides. I enjoy nature. The world is a beautiful place. It's just the people in it. The people in it is just evil and toxic and negative for no fucking reason, just because everyone else is. And if you're one of these people who believe in positivity, want more for yourself, you are an outcast. You're an outcast. People are going to look at you, laugh at you weird. I deal with that right now in my own family. I come from a dysfunctional, toxic family. And we all grew up to become what we had to endure, what we had to go through. We didn't heal from it. I did. I took the time. I took the sacrifice, the loneliness that I had to do to heal from it. But my family, they did not do that. And since I took the time to heal, now I'm a bad person. Now I think I'm better. Now he's too good for us.
Stuff like that is not on you. Those people just they don't have the confidence in themselves. They don't have the belief in themselves to change. That's why that feels like that. And that's why I'm saying now you got to find your people. Now that you have ascended, and have gotten more comfortable with yourself, upgraded yourself. Now you have to find people on that level, because you ain't on that level. No, you ain't at the level they was at first. You grew, you did the work. You isolated, like we talked about in the last video. You isolated and upgraded yourself. And I'm not going to say you are better than them, but you're different than them now. So it ain't even like they do it just because they just in themselves they feel insecure. So now they looking in the mirror of what they could be, and they don't like that you are what they could be and they're not it. Hopefully I'm making sense, but yeah.
If you find yourself in a situation with your family where you're either striving for something to be better, do better, and they don't believe in you, they're putting all this doubt, fear in your mind, it is okay to cut them off. This lie was told to us that family is everything and family is all you got. But at the end of the day, it's like, mental health, peace, clarity is everything. It's everything. You can't function without clarity, without the right, mental space. You can't. A lot of people are they're operating from fear. They're operating from projection from their family, or they're operating from what their family, put onto them. And it's sad. It's so sad, because you could be the person to change everything in your family. You could change the cycle. So what, you come from a poor family? So what, you um you know, who cares? No one cares at the end of the day. I wanted someone to care. I wanted people to feel sorry for me, but at the end of the day, no one cares. We all got a story. But it just seemed like people get old and they stay the same. They don't change. And when I was young, it wasn't always like this. And maybe I'm just becoming older, and I can't be the only one. I know I'm not the only one that feel this way, but why is there so many people who continue to go around people, dysfunctional people, and they add more problems into their life? Like, why? Why do people do that?
I think it's that familiarity. But damn, I keep stopping at exactly 2 minutes. That familiarity with stuff. Like they always say, like, people that go back to their exes or they go back to their same neighborhood. It's just that familiarity. Like the saying, deal with the devil you know and not the devil you don't. That's just what people do. Sometimes you need to know the new devil. That devil might be better. That not like that, but I'm saying like that situation might be better. Like that new person might be better than, the devil you was dealing with. Maybe you might find, the not devil or whatever. If you deal with somebody else or deal with something else. But people, we are attracted to, they always say humans are attracted to, what's familiar, what's comfortable and stuff like that. Sometimes you gotta jump out of that comfortable seat, that cushioned seat, and experience something new. Upgrade yourself, do something uncomfortable to make yourself better. A lot of people just don't be doing that. Luckily, this man decided to, whatever he did, probably got uncomfortable with thinking about his feelings and everything and conquered it. But it's just many people that just stay in that comfortable state. So they go back to the same friends, they go back to the same areas where it's dysfunctional, where they're not seeing any progress just because they're familiar with it. They're comfortable. They've become acclimated to it. That's all they know. Just like people that stay in the hood, that's all they know. They ain't never been out the hood. When they get out the hood, maybe it's a little uncomfortable,
Because they don't want to be lonely.
And that too. Some people just don't want to be lonely and stuff like that. I don't know. They don't want to get sick with their thoughts.
Loneliness is not a bad thing. Loneliness is you having that time, that precious and luxurious time to yourself to find who you are, find out what makes you sad, find out what makes you happy, find out all the insecurities and the fears and face that. But so many people run from it and they feel like they got to go be around someone else, but that someone else is fake and they're struggling and they're faking it. And then everyone just become negative and fake and evil and malicious. I've come to the conclusion that I am out of my fucking mind. I am like literally, something is wrong with me. I'm crazy. I'm literally insane because I had negative thoughts. I used to be a negative person. I used to be manipulative. I used to be a narcissist, right? But it got to the point for me where it's just like, this shit is not helping me grow. It's not helping me become a better person. It's not getting me any closer to where I want to be. It's not helping me feel better. And so I changed all of that, got rid of all of that negative energy and started being positive. And I'm sitting here with this mindset thinking, oh, if I go around being positive, other people will be positive. I'm out of my fucking mind. I'm outnumbered. This is why I keep to myself. It get to a point to where I found my peace and I tried to go around and I tried to, help other people and, oh man, check this book out. Check this podcast out. Listen to this. I was going through the same thing and people don't give a fuck. People love sitting in their own, misery. Even if you try to help them, they don't want the help because they're okay with people feeling sorry for them. They want the sympathy of other people. That is their like, that's what makes them happy. People are truly sick. Mentally, in the head, they're sick. And listen, there's so many people who have unhealed trauma from their childhood, right? And then we become older, we have to go to work, people have kids, they end up getting married, and they never got rid of that, that mental illness, that shit that they went through as a child, whatever it was.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier. Ooh, I get 3 minutes this time. But yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Like, they just grew up in whatever that was, that trauma. They just stay comfortable with that because they don't want to face the truth. Sometimes you got to face that trauma. That's why therapy is a good thing. You get to talk it out and really like realize like the stuff that's holding you back, what could, catapult you forward. How can you, get over that hump to hopefully go further in life. Or just further in your own security, your own self, getting better at knowing yourself. What makes you, like you said, what makes you happy, what makes you sad, what triggers those things, that trauma, what's creating that blockade for you to, go forward. Some people just don't have the willpower to either seek help or be alone to, help themselves. That's why he feel crazy.
And they grow older. And so it's like, it might not even be their fault, but what is their fault is that they didn't take the time to try to heal and get better, knowing that they had this shit going on, knowing that they had this going on. And if you know better, you have to do better. It's really that simple. If you know something is that you're struggling with, something is bothering you, it's holding you back, you have to do the work, you have to get better, you have to heal. Is it harsh? Sure, but it's reality, it's the truth. You can't sit around and wait on anyone else. No one's coming to save you. But it seems like patience, I know my patience, it shrinked as my experience grew. The more I hung around people, the more I talk with people, the jobs, family. It's like when you are younger, you could tolerate drama. You could tolerate fake behavior and constant noise because you really don't know any better. You think that that's just part of life when you're young. But as you get older, you recognize patterns very fast. And your tolerance for unnecessary conflict, it drops. Like, you just don't want to be around messy, toxic, negative energy. That's how I got to a point. It got to a point to where it's just like, I don't have to put up with this. I don't have to deal with this. When I was younger, even growing up living with my mom, I had to deal with that shit. I didn't have a choice. I wasn't old enough to just get up and leave. But the older I got, the more I realized, like, yo, I don't have to deal with this shit. Why am I putting up with this? I leave whenever I feel the energy is off. If people are negative, I just don't hang around them. I don't pick up calls. I don't text people all that negative shit, I don't care for. And I'm in control. So I can't sit here and blame other people and say, well, they brought it into my life. Well, you accepted it into your life. You people, you just know when people are negative and bad, and when you don't know, I find that very funny.
I say that'll come with the intelligence. Like, if you decide to start really recognizing it with your intelligence and stuff, and actually pick it up and read what you're seeing, not even just on a book, just read. A book could help. And everything. Somebody teaching you these patterns of things, just like 40 Laws of Power and all them other books. I'm sorry, maybe I gotta get up on my book reading and stuff like that. But your intelligence, you, not just your age, because your age definitely you tolerate it because you don't know. But like you said, when you get the experience and you do know, and you actually decide to pick up on it, actually retain what's going on, recognize it. Then that's when your attention span when your attention span for that stuff goes down. Especially if you don't like that stuff, if you into that drama, why you think stuff like uh these drama TVs and these celebrity housewives and stuff still around, the reality TVs, because people like the drama. But when you have the intelligence, and also not even just off the intelligence, when you have goals that you want to reach, and you're not just drifting through. People who just drift through and got no excitement in their own life and no push and goals and stuff they want to get to in their own life. That's why they watch that drama, because somebody's doing something they want to do. Somebody's, making their life exciting by just their entertainment. At least that's how I feel. That's how I think about it. They got nothing else going on, so they might as well just watch the drama show. That to somebody fighting, ooh, now they got drama to talk about to the next person they gonna talk to or whatever. Instead of like, when you have goals, it's, ooh, I just found out this new thing. Ooh, I just learned this new thing. You got your own, you got your own, I don't want to say drama, but you got your own things going on. You worry about too much rather than worry about, who just slapped who on a TV show. You trying to figure out this problem. You like, oh, you stressing about this problem. Like, ooh, oh my God, I just found a new problem. You got your own things to worry about. So, and with the intelligence, the patterns of recognizing bull crap with people, you like, I've seen this before. I don't want to go through that again. So yeah, I think that's how it really is. The intelligence plus having your goals.
Very fucking exhausting. Not necessarily evil. And, I know I talk about hating people, but hating people is often less about actual hatred. I don't hate anyone. I don't know anyone to hate them. It's more about emotional fatigue. You just get tired of people. You get exhausted. It's just like, damn, everyone is the same. And constant negativity, selfishness, attention seeking, and dishonesty could make solitude feel healthier and more peaceful than forced social interactions. I don't like, so many interactions now are forced. And I don't want to be in a forced interaction. Where's the authentic people? Where's the genuine people? Everything is just fucking fake and forced, and it's not real. No one's talking about anything. It's just, I feel like everyone has a hidden agenda. No one really cared to know anything about you, and that's okay. But why take the time to force the interaction when you don't have to? I was in the elevator the other day, and somebody just couldn't deal with the silence. They felt like they had to fill that silence with noise because they couldn't deal with it. And it's like, damn, like, I'm okay sitting in my silence. I dealt with it. It's actually very therapeutic, really. Like, no noise, no music, no nothing. And just deal with all the feelings, all the emotions, and just sit in that shit. A smaller circle starts feeling way better the older you get. So many people like been around, a lot of people, and the more people the better. They want social,
just took off, didn't he?
Social proof. So the more people that I'm around, the better I look. And it's like, no, the more people that you hang around, the more fake energy, the more negativity, the more drama, the more rumors, the more all that shit that you have to deal with. And with age, quantity matters less than quality. Many people discover they rather spend time with just two genuine friends, that's it, than maintaining dozens of shallow relationships, workplace politics, or performative social connections. And that's all that we do today. Everyone is performing. Everyone is fucking performing. It seems like we're in a circus, and everyone just kind of like, they got to play their role. No one wants to be themselves. No one wants to show vulnerability. No one wants to, talk about shit that like actually matters, shit with substance. Everyone is just fucking like shallow. Everyone. And
I want to say everyone. Like, some people just, it depends on what they goals are. Because you could take somebody, everybody could be fake like at a job or something like that, like kissing butt on the boss, kissing the boss's butt. To you, they could seem fake because you're like, oh, you don't genuinely like this person. Of course. But even with a job, it's just like sometimes I'm just playing devil's advocate. You're not gonna go up to the boss and be like, "You're stupid. I hate you." You get what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure he's not talking all the way like that. But even in like he said in the elevator, some things you do have to force. Like when you want to meet your wife or new friends, sometimes you got to force yourself in them situations. And I don't want to say be fake, but some people could think being nice is fake. If somebody bring out the wrong plate of food at a restaurant and something like that, somebody could call you fake because you like, I didn't want to eat this, but I'm gonna eat it anyways because I don't want them to take it back. Yeah, that could be fake, But I think with the performing thing, people do perform, but it's always on the basis and stuff like that. Everybody got the agendas and everything. But like I said, you gotta get around people that have that same generosity as you or have that same realness as you, whatever that is, whether that's just, telling you, hey, you are F up, you're effing up right now. Or somebody that'll just motivate you like, hey, I seen that you messed up on this workout or something like that. Let me help you, instead of being like, hey, you messing up, you ain't working out no more. It's always that different type. And even with that fakeness, sometimes, like I said, you gotta force or fake something like, I don't want to say you gotta fake stuff. But sometimes you do, because if you like jobs and stuff like that. But I think he's just talking about just being real, like with friends and relationships. I think that's what he really means, everybody being fake. At least that's what I think he's saying. To get a good job, sometimes you gotta fake, I did 5 years. Just so you can get in the door for an entry level that say you need 20 years or 5 years of experience. Like, dude, I'm about to be cleaning carpets. Why do I need 5 years of this? You get what I'm saying? So yeah.
It's like, yo, I'd rather keep to myself. I'd rather keep to myself. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. So they perform and they be fake and they go around other fake people because they don't know how to be fake alone. So they team up and they be fake with other people, and then they feel, powerful now. And it's like, yo, and you go home sad. You go home feeling worthless.
That right there is called a cult. When people have no goals, or they feel like an outcast, or not even an outcast, they just feel they don't have no place to fit, so they perform just so they can fit in. That is dang near where cults start, right there. With people who don't have goals, who don't know themselves and don't know where to go, they start cults.
Everything starts within. And getting older makes you protective of your energy. You don't let negative energy leak into your fucking circle. And so many people do that by being around negative people. They're negative. And if you're a positive person or you don't like negativity, you don't go around that messy family member. You don't go talking to these messy people at work. Just because you lonely or you want to feel like you're a part of something, put on some fucking headphones and just listen to some music. Like, messy people is just, man, they're taking over the world. They're taking over the fucking world.
I wouldn't even say that. I'm going to end it right here, but I wouldn't even say messy people are taking over the world. I'd say they just allowed us in the world. So, and they do the most damage. So it feels like that, I think. Like you said, the most genuine people are in the house. The most, okay people that's okay with their silence are in the house because they okay with isolation and stuff like that. So, but the people who are the messiest, they out in the world getting messy, if you get what I'm saying, and doing certain stuff. So, I mean, you could say they're taking over the world with this Donald Trump and shit, all that. I don't know. But they're just the loudest most of the time. They're just the loudest. The most silent person can make an impact, but only if they want to. Yeah, the messy person if they with the drama, they with the drama. So it's gonna feel like that. But y'all let me know what y'all think. If people just, the older you get, or if this world is just doomed, the messy people are taking over the world. I don't know. That's how I feel about it. A lot of good topics in this video. He just got, I think this man just need to find his genuine people. Maybe it ain't his family. Maybe he just, like I said, he grew up in a dysfunctional family. Sorry. Now, not sorry like that. Like, oops, sorry. Get over it. No, not like that. I'm saying sorry, you know, for him, but he has to find, now he got to find his people. You know, hopefully he find, you know, it ain't gonna be, oh shit, the way it sounded, it ain't gonna be a person in the elevator that's just sitting there that can't sit with their silence. But, you know, he got this YouTube channel. I think he had like 11K followers or subscribers. Hopefully soon he'll be able to find, you know, his people without feeling like, and stop feeling like this, like he just hate everybody. Right now he just hasn't found his group. He feels like an outcast because he's found himself and he's healed himself. But yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think. How can he find himself? And has messy people just, are they taking over the world? But anyways, also, if this is your first time seeing my face, I'm Lucid, LLUCYD, trying to get monetized, man. So if you want to help with the monetization, or you just like the topics and everything like that, like these type of topics, you know, speaking real stuff on the YouTube, consider subscribing, baby, because it's gonna be way more of this. And yeah, I hope you do subscribe and you come around for the next video, or you can watch the previous video where we talk about isolation and, you know, people that don't want to sit in a silence, or, you know, how peaceful isolation can be, and how you can get like this man if you get into your, you know, get isolated sometimes and get into your thoughts, get into your emotions and upgrade yourself. So yeah, check out that video. And like I said, want to help with the monetization or just like the topics, consider subscribing. Hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Peace.